Aloha everybody and welcome back to Kyle Astrology. Thanks for visiting my channel this evening. I'm going to be doing a bit of a different kind of video tonight. I normally have been doing very Scorpio rising centric series and videos on my channel lately, but I wanted to talk about some of the current astrological transits that are going on right now as we're going into the last bit of 2019 this month and gearing up for 2020. There's a lot of really big, intense ones going down at the moment, so I figured it would be good to get down here and talk about it and get real and personal with you guys, because I'm sure everyone in the astrology community and even people not in the astrological community are really feeling these shifts right now. So there are three in particular that I really want to go into. The first one being that as of December 2nd, Jupiter has gone into Capricorn and is going to be there until December 19th of 2020. So we've got exactly a year of this going down. Jupiter always takes a year to transit through the signs. We also are in the midst of a Saturn and Pluto conjunction, which is going to be exact as of January 12th, which is about a month away, but it's getting really close to being exact. And honestly, you'll feel it building for several degrees before it's exact. So we're really feeling the pressure cooker of that conjunction happening now. And then as of, when is it? December 13th through January 17th, we are going to be in the official eclipse season, which usually lasts for about 35 days, 36 days every 6 months. To have all of these three really big things like that happening at one time really speaks of intensity. So first, I'm just going to start at the very beginning where I started, which is Jupiter going into Capricorn, and because it really ties into the rest of it. And I just do want to throw out that with Jupiter being in Capricorn, we also have Pluto in Capricorn, which has been there for several years now and has a few more years to go. I don't know how many off the top of my head, but we also have Saturn in Capricorn. End of December, we're going to have the Sun going into Capricorn. We are being just overloaded in this Capricorn 10th house energy. Saturn, Capricorn, the 10th house, it's work, it's structure. It is the, Capricorn, I feel like it represents our bones and our body. It is the very structure that we are built upon. It's our dreams, it's our goals, it's our public life and our persona. So many people like to say that the ascendant and our rising sign is a mask. False. The midheaven, the 10th house cusp, which is ruled over by Capricorn and Saturn, that is your persona that you are giving out to the world. That is the you that you are showing and exposing at large, not only in your work life, but when you go out to the grocery store, when you go out to an event, this and that and the other. It's your public life. It's the life and the version of you that you share on Facebook and Instagram and social media. And so because of this, it's structure. It's that filter that we put on everything before we show it to the world. It's all the editing that we go through to make ourselves look better and to appear better. It's all about the appearance. But it's not just about the appearance. It's about the work that goes into creating that appearance. Because with Saturn, Capricorn, 10th house, it takes work. It takes struggle. It takes going through these lessons that sometimes just feels like you are breaking from the inside out and you can't even go anymore, because that is what builds the structure. You look at a house, the house that you live in right now, whether it's an apartment, a house, wherever, someone, a building company or an individual had to buy the wood and the products and supplies and put it all together and get people to lay down the floors and paint the walls and build the structures and put in the ceiling and all of that. All of it, you just don't, snap your fingers and that happens. It requires work. It requires dedication. It requires vigilance. And that, above anything, is Capricorn in the 10th house. So to say all that is because we are being immersed in that. We've already been immersed in that because Pluto's been in Capricorn for, several years now. Saturn's been in it for the last 2 years and is very at home there. That's Saturn's home sign. And so now that we have Jupiter going there, it's really focusing this heavy attention there. You hear so much about Jupiter being expansion because Jupiter rules over Sagittarius. It's all about expansion and enlightenment and growing and yada, yada, yada. But this isn't always true. Jupiter, just as much as it represents expansion, it also represents contraction. Because before it can expand and go outward, it has to contract and go inward to know for itself what it's going to share with others. So Jupiter, while it rules over things like what we're good at and our talents and, our aspirations and goals and how we're going to go about, making these things come true and, our talents and all these things, we have to really get clear with ourselves on what these things are. So now that Jupiter is there along with Saturn and Pluto, we're going to have the next year to really hone in and focus on what it is, not only that we want to do, but what it is that we're doing. And it all comes down to perspective and perception and how you are looking at things. Because a lot of what holds us back and a lot of the obstacles that we face, which is Capricorn, right? Karma and obstacles and challenges, the mountain goat climbing up the mountain to get to the top. So many of these challenges and obstacles that we face are not from outside forces. A lot of them are, but a lot of them are actually things that we create for ourselves. A lot of the times we get spooked out by our own shadows. We see our shadow self and we get so afraid of it that we want to run, we want to hide from the parts of ourselves that we have deemed unlovable, unvaluable, and dislikable somehow. And at the end of the day, not to sound preachy and all, guru and whatnot, we have to be willing to give ourselves the love and the compassion and the tenderness that we need to be able to take those pieces of ourselves that are hurting, that have been through things, that have been through challenges, and to shed light on them so that we can see things in a different perspective. The way that we've been looking at things, the way that things have been colored, because we've had Jupiter in Sagittarius for the past year, which is all about perspective and perception, right? And the higher mind and kind of rising above. We can't rise above pain. We can't transcend loneliness. We can't avoid hurt. These are very human emotions. And you would think, okay, emotions, that's more Cancer, right? But Capricorn is earth sign. It's very human. It wants to take emotion and turn it into something solid. And that's where our instincts and our drives and our emotions are what drive us to make something real out in the real world, as within, so without. So we have to take what we feel inside and churn it and burn it into something real. And that's what Capricorn and what it wants to do anywhere it's at, but especially Jupiter and Capricorn. This is going to be huge. And so this ties into Pluto and Capricorn and Saturn and Capricorn, because Saturn and Pluto are in an exact conjunction, or it's building to an exact conjunction over the course of the next month. The conjunction, in my opinion, is the most powerful aspect. It takes the two planets that are making the aspect and completely blends them as one, is basically what's happening. And it creates a very catastrophic effect. So in this case, it's taking Saturn, it's taking Pluto, and they're both in Capricorn, which can be a very heavy, dense energy at times. And it's completely bringing them together. Saturn's rough. Pluto is death in the underworld and transformation and all that murky stuff I was talking about earlier, those feelings we don't always want to deal with. That's Pluto. So Saturn and Pluto coming together saying, get your fucking shit together. And it's not always going to feel very nice, because those things that we have been avoiding and not dealing with and that are hard to deal with are coming up. And as I say that, it's not like it's this obligatory thing like, oh, you need to deal with your shit kind of thing. No, we should do it so that we live a better life, so that we are a more authentic and whole version of ourselves. Because when we are excluding certain parts of ourselves, what we do is we really end up having a very compartmentalized life, which can lend to being a fake person without even really trying to be. I think we all know what it's like to live in the world in this day and age with social media and our jobs and our family lives and all these different parts of our lives. We have to be this person here, this person there, and then this person somewhere else. And what I'm working on in my personal life, and what I feel these transits are asking us as a collective and a whole, is to be a more well-rounded and whole and integrated individual in every section of our life, be it at work, with our family, with our boyfriend or girlfriend or our partner, with our sports team, with our after-school club, with our, whatever area it is, even us here in the astrological community. Same could be said for us. We're so passionate about astrology and whatever else we're passionate about, but we might not share those parts of us other places. We compartmentalize and we cut and trim here and there, just like we do on Instagram and Facebook to make the photos look better. We end up doing the same thing to our lives. And these transits are really asking us to stop photoshopping, stop trimming, stop editing out the nitty-gritty stuff, because that is where the heart is. That is where the meat of our story is. That is where the juiciest stuff is at, that makes us who we are. The third big point that I want to talk about is eclipse season. And eclipse season, just like Mercury retrograde, happens every 3 months. Eclipse season happens every 6 months. And it's a big deal. I really believe that the eclipse season really prepares kind of the next 6 months for you. And so to look to where certain planets are transiting in your chart and the aspects they're making in your chart are going to be very important to how it affects you personally, but collectively, from December 13th through January 17th, so that's 35 days or so that we really are in this energy. So we're really gearing up for it now. We have a solar eclipse on December 26th in the sign of Capricorn. So a solar eclipse happens on the new moon, where the sun and moon are in the same sign. And in this case, it's going to be the day after Christmas, so we have Christmas Eve on the 24th, Christmas Day on the 25th, depending if you celebrate Christmas or whatnot. And it's pretty huge to have an eclipse the day after, because this is a time of year where everyone's shopping, and this time of year, as happy and jolly as it can be, it can also be really stressful. And as well, for people who have lost loved ones and who maybe are disconnected from their family or loved ones, this can be a very difficult time of year. So to have, Jupiter just moving into Capricorn, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction we're talking about, and this eclipse season happening all right now during the holidays, it is very, very heightened. Emotions are heightened right now. Anxieties are probably very high. Stress levels probably are off the charts. So I just want to say, be kind with everyone else around you guys, and please also remember to be kind to yourselves. If you have lost loved ones, you're disconnected and on the outs with loved ones, friends, family, whoever, have some extra compassion for yourself, and remember to take time for you and really check in and to just be there, because it can be rough. 2 weeks later is going to be the full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer on January the 10th. And that's how it always works. You're going to have the new moon solar eclipse on the new moon, and then the lunar eclipse on the full moon, to where you're going to be dealing with letting go of the emotions and, releasing, whereas the new moon solar eclipse, you're kind of more so maybe setting intentions and kind of getting an idea of what the energy and all that is going to be like. Talking about these transits and putting it out there, I don't want to fearmonger and anyone to be like, ooh, we need to be afraid of the Saturn and Pluto conjunction, or oh god, eclipse season is coming up. Just kind of like how a lot of people really get so fearful whenever Mercury retrograde comes up. It's like, oh no, we can't do anything for the next month, basically. And it's like, no, we don't want to live under a rock. We don't want to be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just more days, more life happening, and you just go with it. You just go with it. And, just being able to know what the astrological transits are and be aware that they're there, it just gives you kind of like a head start to not be so shocked when kind of everything is unraveling, so to speak. Now, just knowing that there's a lot of heaviness in the air right now. There is a lot of heaviness, and to get comfortable embracing that heaviness instead of running away from it and being afraid. If there's any message that I can convey, It's that you've got to go in and go through it to come out of it. You can't side skirt it or go around it or go on top or go under it. You have to go through it, because that is where you become a stronger person for having gone there. So you guys, I don't know if I'll be making another video like this before the year ends. The rest of my videos I have planned are more Scorpio rising videos and different series that I have in mind. So this is just my video as a way to kind of wrap up 2019 and say thank you to all of my subscribers as well for supporting me on this journey and for watching my videos and subscribing and being here along the ride. It's been amazing. Doing readings and doing these videos and practicing astrology has been honestly one of my favorite passions and hobbies that I do. It brings me a lot of joy, and it's just it's changed my life for the better. So thank you all so much, and have a beautiful end to the year. Please enjoy the holiday seasons however you choose to celebrate or not celebrate, and please just be with yourselves and your loved ones for the end of the year. And I am wishing everyone a truly blessed, harmonious, and joyous, amazing 2020. I gotta say, 2019 was one for the books. For me personally, it was a very challenging year, but also very rewarding as we're now coming to the end of it. I see where I've made a lot of growth, and I now know where I want to be heading from this point on. And I hope everyone else is in that boat too. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. As always, much aloha and happy transiting.